Well, the other night, you guys had the mental toughness that you were referring to when it comes to replicating that tonight. What's going to be needed against this Clippers team?
It's always a choice going into the game. That's the great part of life and free will is the ability to have a choice and how we approach this game, how we react to different things throughout the course of the game. I'll continue to say that's a challenge for our group, and we've had a stretch where the ball wasn't going in for us, and we made choices to leave some possessions on the table, but our ability to have some resolve usually is a good thing for us and puts us in a position to compete.
The ball was going in the other night when you have those 19 threes. When you watch the film back, was there anything that stood out about those threes that you guys were able to get?
No, it's been interesting, just over this stretch where we haven't been making threes, definitely keeping an eye on if the shot quality was good. And for the most part, it has been. It just so happened that you had a little energy, a little momentum that we were able to grab onto. And the psyche of the human being, we rode that a little bit as shots continued to go in for us.
The guys the other night mentioned about how you can't watch that last Clippers film because this team is very different. They've gotten some time to play with each other. What has changed about this Clippers team when you look at the last couple of games?
Yeah, even us. I think when I watched it, there was no Nick, no CJ. So I think that was their second game with James playing somewhere around there. So it was interesting watching the bench and seeing who was actually playing. But different feel, different group. This group that's playing probably besides Utah, playing the best basketball in the league. Cleveland's playing good basketball over the last 10. So their ability to have a second unit that's extremely productive, but also have Hall of Famers that can put points on the board on a nightly basis.
This is back-to-back strong games from Spencer. And it's not just make or miss. I mean, he was getting downhill. Did you get a sense that perhaps he's turning the corner? No pun intended.
Oh, I think for me, Brian, it's always going to be performance-based and the ability to consistently do it. Do we want him to continue to do it on a nightly basis? Yes. Is he encouraged to do that on a nightly basis? Yes. Does he have the ability to do it? Yes. So tonight he gets a choice and an opportunity to do it again. Would I love to see him turn the corner and get downhill and put pressure on the rim every single possession, every single night? From a coaching perspective, yes. It makes us a better team.
So, Jacque, I only see you a couple times a year, but, you feel like one of the most energetic coaches in the league, if not the most. And this is a spot where energy is important. So I was curious about where you get your energy from and how does that translate to your team?
Yeah, I think it's been interesting. That's a great question. And I looked at myself as a younger coach. And my first time around, I got a chance to pretty young in this league, the youngest in this league to coach at that time. And I was always concerned about the perception of what I looked like on the sideline, that I was a young coach and maybe I need to have my tie on and be more reserved and look like I knew what I was doing. And fortunately, you get to mature and you grow as a coach, and what you see out there is what you get. Like, I'm enthused when a dude dives on the floor. I'm involved in play calling, defense and offense, and I really sense like at times the team needs that. There's so many games, and you take like today's a matinee game, the juice and energy that you got to have because your routine is different. And sometimes I do make a personal choice to try to give that energy to our team because we need it. But at the end of the day, it's just me being me, enjoying what I do for a living, and giving our team what I have. Good question, man. Appreciate that.
Hey, Jacque. I think you mentioned last game, I guess, how with day around now, you guys are doing more switching and just kind of like adjusting a little bit more. You've had to do that a lot this year with so many guys missing time. So I'm curious, how have you liked just how your guys have stepped up? Of course, they've had to step up, but how have you liked how they've done it, whether it's Doe and Royce playing in the middle, guys filling in when both Cams were out? How have you been pleased with just guys stepping up with so many guys missing time?
Yeah, Evan, I think at the end of the day, I always envision this group being able to read and react on both ends of the floor. And so defensively, I think that's where I was trying to get us in a position to force turnovers and scheme around doing that. And now we've come to a position where we're trying to combine keeping the ball in front of us, but also being in a position where we still can be aggressive. And we've kind of circled our way back around to be in a position to do that. And a big part of that is our group understanding when we do certain schemes, it is meant to turn people over. So when we double in the post tonight, or we double when someone is isolating us, they're able to wrap their heads around that's a change in defense. It allows us to be aggressive, but it's also sound in what we talked about how we wanted to play at the beginning of the year. So I give our guys a ton of credit to be able to move on to the next possession, be able to see that ball go in for the other team and still move on. But extreme amount of resilience in figuring things out on that end of the floor, and we still got some room to grow.
Hey, Jacque. I have a different energy question pertaining to Mikhail. Given the fact that where he was at before with Phoenix and winning team, how have you seen him manage the energy and kind of leadership responsibilities through the different ups and downs of the season?
Yeah, it's a walk that he hasn't walked before, and it is a strenuous walk to be able to do it every single night and have the challenge of probably guarding the best dude defensively that night, and then also being counted on to score 20 points for us as well to give us a chance to win. I think he's learned how to manage those expectations and be better at it on a nightly basis, whether it is the emotion that he has on the bench when success and failure occurs in back-to-back possessions, how his teammates hang on to some of his emotions. That's important for our group. So you learn, I think, being around dudes like that, how to manipulate the environment for the benefit of the group and for the benefit of yourself to be able to move on and be able to take that ownership on. It's a heck of a task, though, to do in this league every night.
Coach, how do you feel when you come back to the Los Angeles area, having played at John Muir High School, and, you know, you just you're here kind of at home? How does it feel? Do you put special pressure on yourself when you come to Los Angeles?
It's welcoming for me. I love seeing my family, friends, people who work at the arena and saw me grow up play high school basketball. You don't know who you might run into. The game of basketball is 2 blocks long, and so being able to come home and do what I do, represent my family. It's pretty special for me and important for me when I come home that they're proud of me also.
Jacque, just having been on this road trip, obviously you guys had him in Paris, but just how's that been seeing him just in person, how he's improving, how he's coming along? Just how's that just kind of helped both of you guys where it's, at this stage in his recovery?
Well, I think just being able to be around that shoot around, be able to be in the film yesterday, all those things matter as he starts, transition his way to being back on the floor, so that that gap of recall isn't so huge for him. And whether it's different plays that we're running from the last time that he was in, whether it's different schemes that we were running, if you aren't around that, it could be a lot when he does return. So overall, just being able to be around the group and absorb some of that terminology and knowledge is best for us.
And guessing when you get back, there'll probably be more of an update on him and Dayron, I'm guessing?
Yeah, so hopefully, miss Dayron. I told that to our group the other day. Miss hearing him on the bus, miss hearing him in the locker room. So look forward to seeing the big fella when we get back home.
I was curious what the next step for Ben is, unless there is another step between now and being able to play? Does he have to do 5-on-5? What's he able to do, and what's the next thing he's got to do?
Yeah, Brian, I'm not going to give you a step-by-step. He'll move on to that next step, which will be when we get home. He'll get examined again after this long 5-hour flight and see how he responds another week of basketball.
I know Lonnie Walker, he's still on minutes restriction, but you used his minutes a little differently against the Lakers. What did you like about how you spaced it out a little differently with him playing a lot of those minutes in the fourth quarter?
Yeah, so it's always, it's really a Rubik's Cube with our minutes on a nightly basis. And so a lot of times I have the knowledge beforehand. So like CJ asked me, why didn't I come back with Cam? Because I knew I was going to run Cam 12 minutes, Cam Thomas, plus the 4 that he played at the end of the third, which was 16, which was another 5 in overtime, which ended up being 21. Well, I knew I was going to only run Lonnie 7 minutes, and so to give him a chance to play with the second unit, because I knew they were going to start double teaming Cam Thomas, which gives another outlet for Lonnie. So there's a lot of things going on throughout the course of the game that makes those decisions different on a nightly basis. With the way they play with their second group tonight, it could be different also.
One more for me. We only come here once to play the Clippers. This is going to be the last time the Clippers play here for us. What is it, just your thoughts about, now next year, we'll play at the Intuit Dome?
Yeah, so my brother doesn't live too far from there, so he'll give me the inside scoop, and I'll know where to park at and everything. But overall, I'll look forward to playing in that arena, so that'll be pretty cool. I've seen some of the pictures, and I don't think anything's missing in that thing. All right, guys.